What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another Kinesio Outdoors gear review video. In today's video, thanks to some good luck and blessings from the Lord, I'm going to be talking about the Grakksaw Ultralight XL boneless game bags. So the reason I mentioned some luck and some blessings is if you're successful in a hunt, in my opinion, there's a lot of luck involved. You can be as skilled as you want, but sometimes there are things that are out of your control. And this season, I was super lucky, very fortunate. I actually was able to fill 3 tags. I got 2 deer and 1 elk. Very, very fortunate. And with that, I got to test out these game bags, and then I tested out another set of game bags as well. And these game bags are something that I'm really, really excited to talk about. They exceeded my expectations. And there's something that I actually ended up buying another individual game bag, which they sell on the website, because I wanted to make sure I had an extra one for my elk kit. So with that, let's dive into what I really like about these game bags. And the first thing I really like is how lightweight they are. Forget the weight, I think it's like 9 ounces. Don't quote me on that. Super small though. So my hands aren't too big, but they're kind of in the medium size. And also this kind of squeezes down pretty small, a little bigger than the size of an average person's fist. To give you an idea, this is my Nalgene water bottle. Height, it's less than that. It's a little bit wider, but it's thinner. So they're incredibly lightweight and packable, which is phenomenal. If you're going on a backcountry hunt, that is something that is gonna save you a lot of space and a decent amount of weight. A lot of the other game bags that I've seen are coming in at 16 plus ounces. So these ones are going to be much, much lighter, and they're very, very packable. Again, you can kind of compress them down. I didn't do this, but some people, what they'll do is they'll actually vacuum seal their game bags so they're even smaller. You could definitely do that with these. As you can see, I can very easily compress these game bags. Super big fan of that. Another thing that I really like about these is the high visibility color. I get that it's cool to have game bags that are like brown. It doesn't show the staining as easily. But having high visibility game bags is really, really nice when you're trying to find them in the dark, in low light, if you're using them as a marker, if you're coming in from a different way later that you are trying after packing up the first load. I really like high visibility. I really like the color orange for that purpose, and these are extremely visible. I really like that about them. Sorry, checking my notes here. One thing that I was worried about was the durability of these game bags. And the reason I was worried is because on the website it mentions like be gentle when cleaning them. It specifically mentions that they're not very durable. However, I actually felt that they were pretty durable. And the reason I say that is I kind of threw these on the ground. Shouldn't have, but I did. They were fine. I also cleaned these, probably shouldn't have done this either, but I went to a local car wash to clean these, and I sprayed them with the self-cleaning car wash hose, and they did fine. I wasn't sure how they would hold up. Maybe that's not a good test, but those things are pretty high pressure, and the game bags turned out totally great. So I think they're more durable than they're advertised as. That's probably just like a precaution to make sure that people aren't just like dragging them, through branches and blackberry bushes and things like that. I was kind of surprised with the durability based on kind of what I was thinking after reading the description on the website. I will say that these are very, very easy to clean. And the way that I cleaned them was I just rinsed them off with water, and then I put borax or baking soda, either one's fine, borax, and I used a Lysol sanitizing solution one time just to kind of see what happened. They cleaned super great. I have no stains on my game bags. They look brand new. You wouldn't know that they were used. They didn't hold the smell. And I think that's partly because they drain blood so well. Now, when I was successful, I put my meat in the ice chest and then drove home. The next day, the next day when I shot my elk, and then the day of when I shot my deer. And I just let it sit in the ice chest, which ideally wouldn't do that so that we can get a full draining effect. But there was a little pool of blood on the bottom of my ice chest because these did not hold that blood. The blood was able to drain through. That's really great. They're doing their job, which is really, really nice. One thing I was unsure of, I just assumed by looking at it, was the size of these. So it says Ultralight XL boneless game bags. I believe on the website they're advertised for a boneless elk leg, and they're tubular, which is really nice for putting them on your pack frame. So That's really great. They're not like really wide, you know, packs aren't wide. So this is great. You can put this in your pack against your frame between your pack, and it's gonna fit in there really nicely. So with that, that's really nice. I wasn't sure, I just assumed that it would fit a deer leg. And I'll actually put I'll put a photo in the video showing the size of my deer. But I shot a deer that was, my guess is 210 to 220. I didn't weigh it. It was much bigger than myself. I'm roughly 5'10", 150. So I'll have the picture show right now. And in that picture, you'll see that the deer is much larger than I am. It's a pretty large whitetail body-wise. Antlers, you can be the judge of that. And the leg fit in pretty comfortably. I was able to put the legs in. The legs were not this long on the deer, especially because I cut the lower leg off. I just don't feel the need to pack the hooves out. But the width of it did fit that leg. It was a little bit tight, but it fit it just fine. I also was able to, in one bag, fit about 40 pounds of loose meat off of my elk. It fit that pretty well. And I also was able to fit the liver and the heart in a different bag pretty well. And the liver, for those of you that haven't packed it out, holds a lot of blood. The blood drained out. I'm really excited with these game bags. They did a really great job. Overall, I like these game bags. I used them for what they were intended for. I didn't push their limits, so kind of keep that in mind as you're watching this review. If you're someone that pushes game bags, maybe drags them through the snow. I've heard of people doing that with different game bags. I don't know that this is the game bag for you. I haven't done that, so I can't say if they would or would not be successful. But if you're looking for something that is small, lightweight, very packable, highly visible, drains blood, you see how there's a lot of really good things about these game bags. I really recommend these game bags. Also on their website, and I could be misquoting, check it out. I believe they have the same game bags, but the made in USA version, which I believe is going to be the same specs. It's just going to be a different price point because it's made in the States versus sewed out of the States. So something to think about. Austin over there at Grakksaw is really great, super nice guy, very humble, great company, and I'm really excited with these game bags. So thanks for watching this video. If you like what I'm doing with these videos, please like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. I'm happy to answer to the best of my ability. Also, feel free to check out the Grakksaw website. Austin has an engineer background. He's super detail-oriented, and you should be able to find your answers either through me or through their website. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next video.